Other teams aren't necessarily doing that. Now, I did want to touch on one team, though, that has actually been having a pretty good, solid performance across the board for our scatter report. We talk about Eternal Photon. Now, these guys, again, I thought coming into this season, I don't know that I necessarily expected them to be a top 5 contender. I've always sort of been impressed by rosters consisting of these players. Taiwanese region has always generally been pretty competitive here in APAC South as well. So I look at them and I think the way that they've gone so far is kind of good enough. They've been keeping up the pace with the rest of the lobby, but I need to see them maybe finishing in the top 2 or the top 1 of a lobby at some point to kind of really lock their position inside the top 4 or the top 5, because they are just on the outer edge of that.
It just feels like they're some of those silent killers sometimes, and they've had some stellar games wherein they completely stopped Moist from actually winning the whole map itself. And you can look at players like Jelen and Holiday. They do come from, I believe, the Ant Farm roster that we saw last time on Split 1. Hick is one of their newer players, and they've been so good at effectively utilizing so much of their agent pool. I look at Holiday especially when he's on that Legend, when he's on that Catalyst, and he has some of the best spikes we've seen, some of the best walls really in those micro situations. 1v1s and especially 3v3s with full squads, they're able to manipulate the battlefield in a way that helps them out immensely when they push.
Yeah, look, I mean, really, really good week last week for Eternal Photon. They did finish 4th in the A and C lobby, 5th in the A and B lobby. So if we go back and say, look, we're looking at A and B today, maybe 5th is probably the pass mark for Eternal Photon. They were debatably, you know, obviously equal par with 4th, so potentially there's a world where you can make the argument they should be able to jump up into 4th. There was a bit of a discrepancy from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to the rest of the pack in A versus B, so they'll have to kind of up and beyond if they do want to maybe push the issue a little bit more. But like I'm saying, I kind of want to see from them maybe a 3rd or better in, you know, today's lobby, or whether we get to see them a little bit later on.
Let's go.
I think they're going to need 1 or 2.
Barrel, I guess. Ngabuburit.
They've done enough to keep themselves in the discussion, to keep themselves within striking distance, but are they there?
Dah anjir nge-like.
At the moment, maybe not quite. And obviously, you're kind of looking at other teams.
Like guess.
Well, these are teams that could potentially start to fire up. I mean, Dreamfire's not too far behind. ADL, we saw have a great week last week as well. So, yeah, I mean, there's some treacherous waters ahead for EP, but if they can do well today, we'll find out, you know, whether or not maybe they've locked themselves in for a top 4 later on down the track. But getting on a bit of a tangent there, we do need to head into.
Kita nobar ya guys ya. Barrel guys.
We'll reiterate at A versus B. So if you want
Tim Indo yang main.
look at the day 1 results from APAC South.
Dewa.
Locations. Doesn't really look like there's anything too crazy going on there for me.
Mana Dewa?
A couple of teams, Skyhook, Lava City, Big Mord, splitting that as well. Usual sort of stuff. The big names in the
Dewa ya guys, kita dukung Dewa.
I think we're at that point in the season now where everyone's kind of worked out their drop spots and they've figured out what they want to be doing with their game plan.
Yeah, it's something they've standardized so far. I do have to mention though that, again, perhaps more opportunities here for IVG moving forward. Not only the fact that they have Lava Fisher there, but the Mirage Voyage is going to be still nearby. An extra bit of loot has helped out teams like Blackhand on Storm Point, and I really wonder if that's going to be the same case here on Worlds Edge later on. Now United also, we've noticed how they've struggled really with the roster stops they've had. It's not the same kind of form that we saw from Split 1, and it's not really the result that we're expecting from
Oh,
them.
505 Indo guys. 505.
Right? We're talking about that. Perhaps they need that big day, that big game, and that big set of maps to move on to the top 3, even top 1 for the group itself. But it's because of some of these other teams that are really, honestly, underperforming to our expectations. There is an open door right now for some of the midfield teams we had last time Split 1 to improve and impress. And if they get their points early, that's a big chance they can keep on going and keep moving on to the land that we're talking about.
What I want to ask you here as well, though, is there any teams that you
Sip.
so well in that first iteration of the A and B lobby that you'd like to see kind of run it back? I know we were having a bit of a chat before we went live. You want to see something a little bit from the Fate lads, right? They had actually a 2nd place in that lobby to finally sort of close out the day, but it didn't really get them too far. They finished 17th overall. So, you know, I mean, aside from them or along with them, what else are you sort of excited to sort of see in this lobby?
I'm really excited, honestly. Because It's the Filipino roster, man. I'm a Filipino caster. I've been
Smurfy.
watching these guys for years already in our local scene, and it's been such a long time to see them on the world stage. The last time I believe some of these players were here was all the way back in
Okay.
the finals of what, 2020 or 2021. This is the first time they're actually here as a PH roster in the split format itself. And players like Mayansu, you got Tix, these guys have been names known throughout the region, or rather in our local scene again and again. And it's very interesting because they have this base right now of old version 1 roster that brought us the international success before from the Philippine side. They're doing so right now, and I wonder, now that they had that roster swap, now that they're the full squad because of the unfortunate circumstances, they're from Dom, will we get this PH squad to make some noise? Besides that though, I think I mentioned it a while ago, I'm always a fan of teams that tough it out as 2-man rosters, and then they get that third player. We have from Mergad, who impressed honestly in the qualifiers themselves, and we've seen that they're finally a full roster. You still have Savior, one of the best spots since you have in Apac South, and I do want to notice those teams now making some noise and getting some points into the day.
Yeah, I mean, another team that I think I'll bring up in this discussion that I want to see playing a little bit better, and it's not going to be too much of a surprise to those of you who have been around the first couple of weeks, is IBG. Obviously, we've placed some pretty high expectations on this roster because of their performance last split and where we would hope to see them doing, what kind of level we sort of hope to see them hitting again. They had that roster change. We all looked at it and said, okay, Jaro in for Strafing Flame. That's not a bad change, right? On the face of it, it's not a bad change on paper. Jaro's someone that's got a lot of experience. He's been to international events and such. So we would be looking at that and saying this should work out pretty well. But I think, to be quite honest, it really hasn't.
Roster
So
swap.
far it's
Mau Jaro.
resulted in two lobbies where
Panay player K. Jaro. Jaro from Australia.
Was this the strafing flame effect? But again, you still look at the history of these guys, and especially as you mentioned, Jaro came from Moist Esports before that whole swap to bring in the All-Star team. And it's, I think Gino
Tim Indo yang main Dewa United ya guys. Dewa United 505 campuran ya.
So what is
Dukung
missing
tim
right
Indo,
now for
guys.
IBG? Even we can't completely tell, but as we notice is when they're especially into the early to mid game, they're found out so quickly on by many of the teams rotating in, and that's where they just get outgunned. That's where they get outmaneuvered. And truth be told, it just seems like there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I believe in the final map of last week, there was at least a good performance there from IBG, but the damage itself already has been done on the scoreboard, and this is one of the teams that really need to step up immensely if they want to even make it to the top 5.
Yeah, I'm just looking at.
Si lama anjir.
They've got one, two. I think they've got 4 play days left, or 4 lobbies left.
Lama.
I'm just trying to have a bit of a peek here and see how many lobbies they get to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they get 4, and then they've got the finals, which will be like the last year's finals. So to come back from 26th in essentially 4 lobbies and try to make it into top 4 placement to guarantee a position overseas again, I don't know if it's possible. They've got 8 points, 8 season points right now, 8 split points, and the 4th place team, which is AGL, has got 37. So they would, even if they won every single maybe this is always like where you get when you're at this point of the season where you're like, oh, how many points would they need for an overall split qualification? They're going to go back and look.
This is fancy mathematics right there. Bring out the calculators, guy. But
maths on
yeah,
sleeve.
I do feel like right now the goal for IBG and some of the teams below the 20th place
Penonton
has to
I
be
guess.
they build that chemistry moving forward. If they have those big days, sure, that can propel them to contention within the guaranteed slots. But you mentioned it's the regional finals that they have to play for, that they have to be at the level of caliber of play that they need to be in, not just only making it to the top 20, but being the first one there. And those are, I'd say the same thing for a team like Fruit Esports, maybe you've noticed, unfortunately have that downward trend so far. These names from Thailand have been incredibly amazing over the past few splits, but maybe perhaps time really getting ahead of them by this point. And it was almost the same case for the former EXO Clan roster for, let's what's their team name now?
EXO's Tom Yum Kung, yeah.
Yeah, Tom Young Kung, and if they didn't have the good performance there in the last outing in their last group, right, it will be the same kind of conversation for them too.
100%. Look, this is where we're sitting overall, and this is kind of the conversation that we're having at the moment. You look at IBG, you look at Truth, and even Tom Young Kung, they're doing a little bit better than that. And anyone kind of in that bottom half from Buriram United downward, if they were to go out and basically win every lobby from here on out that they would be able to play, if they played the remaining 4 lobbies that they get to play, you put plus 100, because you get 25 points for a lobby win. So you put plus 100 on their overall points there. So let's just take the example of IBG. They could feasibly be on 108 points maximum by the time we get into that final lobby. And just for clarity, after the end of the final lobby, last split 119 points was the 5th place cutoff. So you would be going into that final lobby still a little bit off the pace. You'd still need to have a fairly decent day in that final lobby, if not a win, obviously, to try to make yourself just get that automatic spot. You would need to win that final day, and you'd still need to have a good sort of overall standing to make it in the top 5. And that's assuming you win every single lobby you play up to that point for the rest of this season. I just don't see that happening. It's like you can't expect anyone to obviously win 4 lobbies in a row. It's just not. I mean, even I don't even think I would say Moist could win, because the way they play, sometimes they take a skip in a lobby or something like that. It is what it is. It's Apex Legends. It's Battle Royale. These things happen.
Kurang pas.
Nothing goes your way all the time. So, are they out of the race right now already? I mean, obviously it depends on how things do play out, but it's a real uphill battle for a lot of those teams that haven't gotten going in the first couple of days. That's all I'm trying to say.
I get your point, and I feel like maybe after today, and maybe after we get back from break, that's when you can really tell, right? Because this is the halfway point, and by this point now, you have outperformed. These teams at the bottom need to make sure that the averages get back up there in the first place, or else you're gonna have to do what Moist did and even better. They won 3 back to backs all the way in the regional finals just to secure the slots. But we are gonna be getting into the game very, very soon. We start things off though on World's Edge. If you guys aren't familiar with the format, as per usual, you get 2 maps, 3 maps of World Edge, and 3 maps of Storm Point to fill in our groups. And you can see here, guy, that we begin with.
Okay, mulai.
To Geyser, and as per usual, Onyx Boys on their usual spots. I look at Fractal West and DY White, one of the more aggressive teams in getting kill points. They might actually go after LG if things do fan out that way.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think they would like to sort of see.
Let's go, Indo.
First as well before they do sort of commit to anything. Now we did just get a bit of a sneak peek of where that initial circle is going to end up going. So like I said, it's south. So we saw quite a bit of Lava City and a big Northern involved in the final circles last week. But whether or not it's going to head in that direction again. As far as drop locations are concerned, all these teams are pretty happy. Only things to really maybe take note of are obviously you do have Truth and Hermago who are splitting
Patah-patah gini cuy.
Seems to be a little bit wary of one another, but outside it seems like everything's all peachy. And information-wise, one thing that I always like to look at starting at the game off is does Moist have the info, which in this case they do, and how quickly are they going to be leaving Lava Cycle? Because as we know, they're one of the fastest rotating teams here in LGS Apac South, and I'd be expecting them in a matter of now maybe 1 or 2 minutes to be on their way out of Lava Cycle. You can kind of already see they're starting to move southward. They're starting to kind of rotate their way in. I can see they've got a couple of teams right next to the dome on the mini map, and presumably that's where they're going to be heading. So they'll be off to the races pretty shortly alongside Onyx. Onyx is another really quick rotating team. They don't like to fight early. They like to rotate early. They like to set themselves up and play the circle. So both of them have the info.
Apalah, halangin situ.
Make that rotate happen.
And as soon as that happens, right, you have teams like Popcorn already moving into Harvester. It will actually be the
Match
same case
pertama
for
Grup
Apac.
A
So
versus
it's the
Grup
fact
B.
that you know the early rotating teams like Onyx and Moist have already evacuated
Moist.
their initial spots. It can give you a good idea of where to go next and just follow the leader basically. And see here, with the circle next on the list, it does feel like Lava City and the Dome still within the range. Moist actually moving towards Dome right now. Might be Fate in pitch combat later on. launch side also already having two of those squads, but Moist Esports prepared to take the south side of
putus-putus
the map
gini cuy.
as effectively as possible
Agak
here.
putus-putus.
Starting to get a bit of movement all over the map.
Terjadi peperangan di sana. MDY White.
Eternal Photon.
Oh, lawan Eternal Photon. Ada ulti katalis buat kabur kayaknya. Kejar guys, kejar.
Pot shots, fire exchange, nothing really to run home about. It does force out the catalyst wall from one of those teams, but I mean, it's still early days, shouldn't be a really big deal.
Hammergrad.
I do believe that's them on the other side. They're
Hammergrad.
a lot more confident now in how they play Skyhook. They're not too afraid to move a little bit closer to trials now that they're a trio. But since they still
Gini ya, agak putus.
team, they're game preserver captain epicenter instead. Just a little bit to MDI White that we mentioned a while ago. I think moving forward here is, if you look at the points distribution of MDY White, most of their points do come from kills. They're really good in conflict. They're really good in contact, but their positioning has been a bit left to be desired. And teams like Eternal Photon, who are still trying to gatekeep them towards Big Mod, will to take advantage of that fact moving forward here. Golden Sage, though, in the meantime, keep an eye out and still at the very least control here for many of our teams who are just keeping the southern escapade going.
This is an interesting little early engagement here for 20th guaranteed in Golden Sage. Keeping one another aware of the position that they're holding. It doesn't look like too much is going to come from that. Now you just heard as well, and you've seen on the stream that EP do land on the roof. So you've got three teams already looking at that building and thinking that's the place to be. What interests me most about that, though, is that Moist and Onyx, those two teams, actually opted not to go for that position. And given they were the first teams rotating, and generally they're also some of the best teams in this region, maybe they're onto something that these other teams fighting over Lava City aren't necessarily picking up on at the moment. So we'll see how that plays out.
Emiliezi Nyuku. Streamer Ganiat. Nying streamer Ganiat. Inside the ring, perang. Ya. Mau pakai red ya, inside the ring. Inside the ring. Lu masih nge-lag gini, kenapa ya?
Obviously third parties in this area of the map potential problem. You kind of have a boo around, hanging around, keeping an eye on things as well. If you see a knock or two, there's an angle maybe. You've got other teams like Troop, for example, starting to make their way down. Hermagirl as well, coming through from Skyhook. So there's quite a few teams that are going to start making their way past Lava Siphon. If you get stuck in a pitched battle here and you start losing members or look susceptible, you're going to jump on that opportunity to pick up a couple of free points. So
Cek.
cek
musuh. Pawang zona. Oh, ada yang kenokwan Jiki. Inside the ring. Wah, mati satu Chan. ADL dibunuh ADL. Ada dewa di atas ya, dewa guys, dewa. Enak banget dewa di atas nih. Nggak dapat kill ya. Yuk, Kisens.
Sort of escape solo, but obviously that doesn't really do too much for the team as a whole. Nuku and Ziki on the floor, they were united, picked themselves up for a couple of points to start the lobby off, and I'd say inside the ring their chances are looking pretty slim.
Ayo Bastian, CJR. Let's go.
Try to close this one out as a solo, but Nice, maybe confidence settler for Ngabuburit United, who've had a pretty rough run of things so far in this
Yo Dewa, let's go.
Apac South. They did
Kamu bisa. Dewa
okay,
champion.
actually, the first lobby that they played, which was this exact
Let's go
lobby.
Dewa.
But the second lobby they played, they didn't do very well at all. So they really want to be following up today.
Oh 505 masih di luar zona. Udah mulai penuh di dalam zona yang kedua. 505 juga ini apa? Tim Indo juga 505.
North side, you can see now the ring has gone the way of Moist and Onyx prediction, moving towards the dome area. It might just end on the outside
Blackpink.
of it. And it's just because we had fleet starting off towards dome, they have one of those buildings right now inside of it. You also have casuals there as well.
Yo, let's go Dewa.
Kesorot
terus Dewa.
The teams that were pulled up towards Lava City, they're going to need to get out a little bit earlier than expected. And that's around EP, you have Golden Sage there, you have White nearby.
Lu mau gatekeep ini ADL Dewa. Gatekeep ADL. Oh, zona ini udah rame. Ada yang masih putih anjir armornya. Jaro IBG, Iron Blood Gaming.
They're an interesting team. I mean, they're a team that we will really be keeping an eye on today, I think.
They seem to perform to the level of expectation we've had for them so far, and as it stands, the contest here from IBG, looking for anyone to really fight on the other side of the map, though. I believe on already gets a little bit more contact versus we're around. Moist just watching nearby, looking for opportunity. It just seems like it's one of those rings that we get in New Orleans, and it's just eventually by ring 3, by ring 4, everyone will be forced to go on the outside, and that mass transit, that mass exodus will lead to those casualties. Only though having a bit of contact still, we watch 505 right now.
Let's go perang. 505.
I'm looking outside the launch site here.
Tim Indo juga ya.
And it's just again that one moment, that one little timing that will cause all these squads to collapse on each other.
Bikin jebakannya salah malah ke situ. Nah. YouTube Forgotten. Pagarnya kurang ini. Kurang nutup, kurang panjang. Fansitsnya.
Either way, so obviously pulling down toward dome.
Oh.
I like dome. I think it's quite an interesting area of the map to watch final zones play out.
Kurang panjang.
There's hazards. There's also the rocky alcoves that give you some cover. So a few rats can actually tuck themselves away. Moisto just in the side of it again. And one of the talents that really Moist have proven throughout the past few weeks so far is their ability to really
Area ini udah penuh nih.
in a good spot. Usually they have a good semblance of it. And when they're in position, even on outskirts, we've seen even split one that they're able to fight and they're able to win it out. XY though in the meantime having their own kind of concept, and I think 505 going to be nearby. And Armageddon there as well.
Wow, crack.
That arc star as much as possible. They're getting hammered though by the utility again, stuck here to the side of the ring. And on the inside as much as possible, looking to go for cover. That's backlash smoke into play. YC, leave exit Y out, that's the question. It's so difficult though, Watson's fence is in the way, 505 getting it.
Oh, ini timnya Hammergad.
And Hammergad,
Si Sapior.
now being the enforcers of this location.
Yeah, I mean, X and Y, they are kind of well established to actually take this fight. The only issue, of course, is that they don't really have a get out of jail free card. They're not running a Valkyrie.
Wah,
or
kena sandwich.
anything like that, so they can't actually get out of this fight. They just have to work their way through it. We've already seen one go down. That was good from Yukoi onto XD, but
Wah,
starting to go a little worse.
Morgan mati.
Good, eliminated in the end. XD, the only player to fall in that engagement. X and Y, like we said, they can fight well with this composition that they've got. They've got the Seer Bangalore combo, quite powerful. Obviously, you can look through the smokes. You've got the Catalyst there as well. But where do they go from this now? How easy is it going to be for them to actually rotate into the zone?
5-5 is looking for them right now, but X and Y gets back into cover. That's the thing. They still have a lot more
Wah,
ability if ever
505 mati satu.
you have that Bangalore that you mentioned. The smokes are so effective in that kind of fight, in cutting off what Urber could really see. And it just goes to show we can have some of these aggressive teams despite back anyway, despite the fortifications of the other teams. 5-5, still though now.
Oh, Dewa masih komplit, guys. Let's go, Dewa.
The likes of Onyx, the likes of Buram, still be solo X and Y nearby.
Ayo dapat itu bisa.
In the meantime,
Yang di tengah ke
same
dead kit.
position as before, but the ring is now closing on in, and with Crazy Kong keeping an eye out, and the rest, I believe, of his squad. So let's go.
Oh,
Let's go for that
mantap.
contact. Devil getting hurt now. Slim
Nih,
trying to
sampah
back
nih,
there,
Onyx.
cut off the approach. His hands right into the ring. Dashing up, he's still going to be there, and covering fire right now here, Elfish. It's still Onyx ready to receive, and while LG gets eliminated, look who's gatekeeping them out here.
Yeah, I think Onyx has really established themselves in a great spot. They have so many teams trying to rotate their way in.
Wah, 505.
Keep these teams under pressure. They've got a good kind of cover position from inside of this tunnel. And obviously Day was fighting against X and Y, who's fighting against ADL, and Onyx just sitting around here sort of saying, well, we'll third party it.
Oh, di push.
Onyx at bay. David United will turn their attention to being the bread in the sandwich. X and Y, of course, the figurative meat currently, which is not really where you want to be.
Let's go. Dewa, let's go.
Nembakin
apa nih?
So it's already contact on all fronts. Onyx having to retreat actually. Mindful is the clutches that United.
Ayo.
As quickly as possible. Still though, it is fast.
Jangan mati, Dewa, jangan mati.
They already used the wall early on just for the transit, and then either side there's a squad to fight. That United stuck here now. The brutal sandwich has been changed for them to be the one in the middle. And Onyx though bringing damage to Racky, finding at least one there. ADL Wolves on the hunt, opportunity now to just execute like him and the rest.
Mati Dewa.
First, waiting now to see who's gonna get eliminated.
Nice try. Ke sandwich tengah-tengah.
Well, what you really got to remember as well is there's only 30 seconds left before that ring is going to start to pull. So I find any one of these teams, and actually they've all quite intelligently decided that they don't want to continue this fight. They've got to get a bit of a move on. I think Onyx, they're going to have to surely start to dive out of this one. You can't fight your way through that tunnel anymore. They've done it just in time. 5 seconds left on the ring. Up they go into the air, and over the top they'll fly, but where do they land? Well, Buram United certainly is going to be a bit of a hot spot right now in that caravan. They are basically dead center of the next ring.
Effectively scared off Moist who have decided to go on the outside instead. And alongside the tower time while ago, Onyx will do the same thing. Onyx landing on the south side of the exit of that gold tunnel, and MDIY instead getting their contact. Behind them, you have 6 and the rest of the base. Gold things still gone. 28 Garrett getting the same way. Teams from Lava City just in the back way to get it punished because there's a rotation.
Enak banget itu anjir.
The crossbar, it's Akuma trying to find a bit of opportunity. Bait's gone now. It's going to be IBG in position. Get to that top 10. Please, a better sign.
Putih Bangalo di mana-mana.
It's going to be effective here. Onyx versus MDYY yet again. ADL is going to be here fine. MDYY is going to be fine.
GG Onyx.
Bruce still there too. And the squads now finally meeting each other.
Onyx e-sport ya guys ya.
Once you have to move because of the ring, this is where it all goes to chaos.
Enak banget.
Some good shots across there, courtesy of Heck.
Ada
I
L.
really like what I'm seeing from this team in this split. They had a really good week last week, and they're actually find themselves a little bit more damage here. You have Truth Esports hiding inside that smoke, but a bit of a last-ditch attempt from them, I dare say. ADL able to clean that one up quite comfortably. Now, just to take stock of what else is going on around the map, we've been talking about Onyx and Moist.
Oh, pegang Kraber anjir Moist.
They're both still alive. Booram's sitting inside that caravan dead center. And then you've got a few other teams kind of hanging around in Dome.
Just
To me, it kind of looks like the big players of this lobby are still pretty much alive. And interestingly enough, as well, one of those teams is inside Dome. IBG.
tim Indo mati semua, udah mati. Enggak Onyx e-sportnya Indo. Timnya dari Australia.
I think they're choosing their fights a lot more smartly this time around. They really kept tabs on Fate as much as possible. We know that Fate landed here on Dome, and they have just been sticking around on this POI as much as possible too. And from that point on, they were waiting for perhaps contact from Onyx to really end. Now they're going for the pot shots there. ADL in the meantime still dealing with Onyx and Moist. They do have to be careful because I think that's inside the ring. We're around just casually saying bye to Caravan as much as possible. It's still really that transit again that forces teams like Onyx to move now and keep contact going. IBG so close to Onyx now, letting the wall rip. Keep themselves in check. Keep themselves
zona akhir.
Just to get the intel as of now. They
Dia
have
rock knock.
the battlefield for them here. They can at least set up a good piece. Use those diamonds, shoot them down, and keep themselves in check and cover.
I'm a little bit worried as to what's going to happen when that ball does go down. I don't have a huge amount of cover here.
Wah, kenapa?
Maybe it's going to do a bit of ship damage to Shady. To move again in 1 minute. So they're going to have to find their way through this one. Raki already having gone down, and you can see immediately as soon as the
Onyx
ball
mati.
drops, it is just all bets are off. ADL and Onyx going head to head. It's a 2v1
Onyx.
right now. Head down on the floor, but Onyx eliminated. And ADL, I mean, they just clean sweep them.
Oh Moist ini mah.
That was really the only saving grace for them.
Udah fix Moist. Pegang Kraber cuy.
By Moist, Pricey. This Kraber has been doing a bit of damage so
Nongol
far in the
dikit.
lobby. And finally we get a stellar execution. 5 squads left. And ADL now looks like Moist is looking at them here. Buram also keeping note as much as possible. In the meantime now, Amelia and the rest of the crew there trying to survive, but it's inside the ring who falls to Casuals instead. Casuals has been sticking around the zone for quite a while. Moist esports though looks to go for the
Moist.
Price leading the charge yet again. He's been one of the MVPs really of the split so far, especially after the first stage. He did it in this lobby. Can he do it yet again?
Moist ini mah fix
Moist at the ready.
champion.
Yeah, this is what Moist really does quite well in the end game. In the late game, they do like to try to get a bit active when they sense a weakness, where there's an opportunity for them to take some map control. Done a great job of that. You saw them put the camera sword down, and jump straight on top of that fight, clean it up really comfortably. And now,
Ada LGG juga ada.
and obviously their opponents are more than likely going to fight one another, so really intelligent move coming
Tembok.
from Moist. And I think they've set themselves up nicely to finish this game off with a win.
But they will stay
Kraber.
put up their own wall here. I believe now that intel thanks to the exhibit. On the inside, Buram still heavily fortified, but Legacy already gets down onto one of them. Apple trying to survive here. Still in the cover. Moist is just patiently waiting for opportunity.
Bikin lumpur-lumpur.
For anyone who actually comes out the other door, and ADL Wolves, they burns just a little bit right now by the ring. They have to be a bit careful in how they go for cover. The wall goes down.
Moist sendiri
and
udah
as much
fix.
as possible. They're still on the inside of the POI, and the ADL Wolves will have to fight both squads at the same time.
Moist
Apple,
champion.
though, on the inside, it seems like Buram, they're trying to survive here, but Buram United will fall divided. ADL Wolves down versus
Kraber.
Moist Esports. Moist has
Tra.
so much control all around the
mampus.
game. They call the ring, and
Kan,
they're calling the
Moist
fight.
kan.
This is theirs to win, and that they will do.
Yeah, that was just way too easy for Moist in the end. You can see
Easy
Buram
for
was
Moist.
trying to stay inside of that caravan for as long as they possibly could.
Easy
ADL
for
Wolves
Moist.
taking them out, takes a bit of damage in doing so, and then Moist waltz their way, for lack of a better word, to
Waltzy,
a
easy.
win. Yeah, but you can see that the hard yards, the hard work was really put in a little bit earlier on, at least by Moist. As soon as they pushed into Dome and took control of that space, they looked like they were going to win that game from 2, 3, 4 minutes before the game actually ended up finishing. So just the little nuances that Moist does a little better than anyone else, and there's another example of it.
We called it also early on that you were keeping attention to when they would get the ring ready, why would they position there, and we contrasted especially what Moist Onyx were going to do. And it seems like for Moist, it's really that long run in that last ring that gives
Bel
them
pun main
that
sama
edge.
Jaratas.
They know when to exploit that third-party opportunity when the teams that have just been camping nearby do come on out and force the fight. Compared to Onyx, where they were gatekeeping, they were trying to play that home as much as possible. And while they did an impressive job to survive against the likes of FBI White as well as Devil United, it wasn't enough because eventually teams have been hunting them like ADL Wolves. They just kept going at them. They just kept looking for opportunity. And you saw when the wall went down, that was the fall of Onyx. It wasn't the case for Moist. They were so cool, calm, collected, and they had so much in reserve that even in a pinch, they would find a way out.
Yeah, but I think part of the issue for Onyx was that they really did get stuck a little bit too much in that initial fight around the tunnels. They would have had a bit more time to rotate. Again, I always kind of sort of characterize them as a similar team in terms of play style to Moist, and that they don't tend to like being team-taking early, right? They tend to prefer to rotate early.
Jaratas Gaming. Aduh, anjir nyetrum.
Couldn't really do that, and when they did eventually rotate, their options were limited because other teams had already taken those spots that they would have wanted, and also they were rotating late, they were rotating from quite far away, so they couldn't even really get to like half of the zone. So they didn't really give themselves as many options as I think they normally would. Still actually not a bad place overall for Onyx, and they did pick up a couple of kill points on the way through there as well, so definitely not the end of the world, but you know, as far as this lobby is concerned, tell them put voices onto the race, that's for sure. Generally when we're
Ya. Nice try Indo. Let's go, masih ada 5 game lagi.
Split through is when Moist says, we are going to be the best team and we'll prove it. I'll give it a big props. So, to Onyx, it said just one more time, you said they got a bunch of kills. They got 11
Stinger
in
bikin
that map. So, they really fought for their lives many times. ADL Wolves, though, this story continues. And I'm absolutely hyped up with what they're doing so far. They got 11 takedowns as well. They kept tabs and kept up with Onyx.
set. Kecepatan aja.
It really kept that as much as possible. Only reason why Moist got that win was because they were in a better position watching those two squads fight. And it's just 80 Wolves right now, a team to watch out for. We talked about squads like
Tes. Set. Kurang.
but I think ADL Wolves is the team we're going to hear again and again over the next few weeks. And this is one of the reasons why.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's no shortage.
Kurang. Set. Ah, mantap.
Maybe there's going to be a
Set.
world
Set. Nah. GG guys. Stream live login. Jangan mobil ya. Nge-lag.
As we're looking to get this for next game here, I do feel like when you look at Moist Esports right now, it's still them continuing on with what they started in this season, and what they really built up in the land itself.
All
Now,
widgets.
maybe a little bit on the bottom side, yeah, Urban God really having some little struggles, 5-5, as Jordan did mention. But let's check out the scoreboard, guys. As you can see, we have our standing set. And it's not Moist on top with the kill points made. It will be ADL Wolves on the lead, in the lead rather, on the esports, making it to the top 3. Good placements though overall by Burram. They have to keep them support casuals also surviving for pretty long. A good baseline here for Iron Blood Gaming, a good baseline for X&I as well. We've got a number of takedowns there, and really moving on to 8 and below. Perhaps that's where improvement can come from for Golden Stage, for esports, and Side Ring 2. Jordan, I miss you already. Almost guys, you will return very soon. But we still have more maps to go, of course, and we're still going to be moving into World's End
salah.
as soon as possible. We will go on the break, check out the highlights from last week, and we return. It will be the second map. See you guys more. ALGS.
Mana nggak muncul? Oh lah, Facebook ini kocak. Oh belum save. Kurang gede. Yang nonton 0. Stream label. Sekarang bulan apa sih? Maret ya? Maret 03. Gelap nih. Kok gelap? Copi.
Everyone, welcome back. We're into match number 2 already. I do like that. Short race, simple race, as far as I'm concerned. And look, it's we did take a little while to get into that first race. I think the admin's trying to sweep us through. It's good, but yeah, good finish from Moist in that first game.
Udah mulai cik, udah mulai.
They are definitely the kind of team that could, for sure, just run through this lobby and basically win it in 3 games, and for the rest of the day we're going to talk about who's going to come second or third, something like that. But either way, on to World's Edge again. Dax here with me. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear from you again. You had such some great analysis there at the very end. Secrets to how to win Apex Legends again and again. But unfortunately, we got
Mulai.
Getting back into the game, you can see already the ring is a bit different from how it's shifting. Move over to the north side instead. The next ring actually moving towards Skyhook. And this might be a bit better chance for the teams that drop there actually just play the zone and keep an eye out. Obviously, the big winner here in this kind of location, as we heard again, we have that Watson anyway, and Saber will be ready to just keep an eye out and keep every building that they want to use for the fight. We're watching the ADL Wolves though, it's quite the journey for them, but their journey to be one of the contenders right now here in Split 2 hasn't been unnoticed, or everyone's looking at them now right now after that first game.
For sure, and not even just after that first game, but after...
Dewa di mana Dewa? Oh, di atas.
their two performances in the
Dekat
A
Hammer
versus
Guard.
B and the A versus C will be that we got to see.
Wah, udah masuk zona. Jun.
Really consistent. Obviously, they finished sixth.
Yang harus rotasi 505.
I suppose kind of the path again. I would categorize them in a similar position maybe to Eternal Photon in that those are nice performances, but if they really want to be going overseas, they
Jalurnya rame
find
aja.
a way to take the top 2 or 3 in one or two of these lobbies. But as far as what I have expected from them, and then also what I've seen from them coming into this season, I'm really impressed by the level of which they're kind of coming into this. So I'll give them props for that. Hopefully they can keep it up. You know, hopefully it's not just a couple of good weeks.
Hei, lagi bobo.
On the leaderboard, they have 1 point ahead of most esports. If you guys didn't see the scoreboard a while ago, they have perhaps the Dynasty Sports Club, but beyond that, this is really their biggest foray right now into the ALGS circuit. Forays here, my friend. There's so much going on towards that Sky Hope area already. Let's go for a bill landing for one of the buildings here on the southeast side, but this is going to be urban warfare at its finest. Building after building, it does feel like you go back to some older splits, some older metas really, where you have things like the Watson's getting so helpful in keeping everything out. You also, of course, have the catalysts, the barricades, such a strong passive, just to keep those doors fortified.
Yeah, I think this will be another one of those kind of messy end game zones where a lot of teams are able to get in because there's obviously a lot of buildings, and inside those buildings sometimes you can hold 2, even 3 teams potentially, depending on what building it is and how many rooms there are. So for the most part, you're probably going to see like 18, 19 teams, at least in this next room, unless someone makes a really good presentation. Now, I do see we've only got the 19 teams live right now. Did we miss someone? Did we lose?
They're caught by Buram United, and again, Buram, the one thing they can rely on, especially with players like Alabama and Wathcparty in it, is when they're in a good position, they're very stable at hitting some accurate shots. I'm looking at the comps we have though with the Legends as, speaking of Alabama, he's already down and out to the hand of Fan Ban, that there's a few outliers here. When we play the World Series, we've seen some squads run the Maggie. Fate is going for it right now. Myan's on it. You have also Icon, the Horizon for the same squad. So looking back at their old local history, I think those are some comfort picks, especially the Horizon. They love to play that verticality. And in a case like this, maybe a siege towards a building or two can help them out later on.
Yeah, actually, I would say that the Maggie's going to be quite useful, particularly with this circle, this end zone. Did see a little bit of Maggie coming through last week as well. There was a few teams who were picking it up, sort of like a bit of a pocket thing that actually seems to be quite effective. I don't mind it. I don't mind seeing if a team or a player has a certain sort of tendency towards a particular legend that they do pick it up. But what I will say will probably hurt you a little bit here, Dash. But I think in the case of a team like Fate, and maybe he's performing as well as some of the rest of the teams in the region, there is potentially a world where you look at that and say, what if they tried out the Metacom? What if they tried to go for something a little bit standard? Would that improve things for them? Because I like to see the variety, I like to see the change, but I like to see it working. And I think if you made the argument that they're coming through as a team toward the bottom end of the standings, maybe you could say it's not working. But
the growing teams and see what it takes. In the meantime, though, Devil United having their own kind of battle, and Algs is going to get eliminated now. Well done here by Devil United. They're looking for a little bit of ferocity into the server, and a fight like that is a sign of a new beginning. And going back though to what we were talking about, Mad Maggie overall, I feel is a bit of the anti-meta right now, especially with their passive. You have a shotgun right to move faster, you get the scans when you hit someone. And here comes IB, also getting a few blows. Yet again, more restraint from what we see more from them, and it seems like it's handing out a bit for how to play.
on steady with the race right now. Everyone's just trying to make that rotation into Skyward. There are still a couple of teams that have an ADLs playing out toward Lava Fish. Looks like they're doing some replicating. Some lines doing the same thing down at Harvester. Casuals probably doing the same thing in Fragment West, and then EP kind of coming across from Epicenter, maybe taking a bit of a detour through survey camp and doing some replicating as well. So those edge-based teams, those teams that are rotating late, they know they're not going to get a free position inside the zone. They just spend a little bit of extra time building up their resources so that when they do have to take those walls of attrition to get in, they're going to be able to at least still compete.
I'm not too sure if they've actually scanned the ring console or not here already, but X and Y, funny enough, one of the players, I believe, from last split, from SRY Furies, is actually coach right now. We were talking about how this team will start playing out some of these kind of ring setups. They're able to play the as much as possible, find that longer rotation. Teams not here on World's Edge. They got a good number of kills because of that. That they find these kind of opportunities later on into the game. Teams like Blackhand have shown that they can do the same thing on other maps like Storepoint. So I really wonder how these long rotations will go. ADL Wolves having a bit of contact towards Trials. You also have Fate right now, still in the zone towards Thermal Station. So it's not everyone in the Skyhook as of yet, but it's getting built pretty quickly as it stands now.
There's still a couple of buildings though that haven't been taken, and one of those is where EP is headed right at the moment. And to be honest, they're not doing a bad shout of just sort of locking themselves into position. They know the ring's pulling in that direction. They'll get another ring. Most teams are kind of gambling out towards the side of Skyhook, so generally when I see something like that, I think, yeah, maybe those guys know what's going on.
Sorry guys.
But you know, when your options are limited, someone like EP coming in really late, you've got to take what you can get. So they take a building, worry about the rest a little bit later on. ADL Wolves kind of doing the same. They just come in down and slowly start to creep their way through these buildings until they can find somewhere to hole up. Bring a bit of damage on the way through, but they're okay.
Sudah 17 lagi ya guys.
I believe fast by even here inside Skyrim itself. So for all the teams right now that can get
Kok yang gak maju sih?
know how APL like through it, that B and the rest of his squad, that's 5 and 5, might be able to figure out.
Sorry guys.
So in such a central position early on already, we get finally the same as well. Yeah, Onyx nearby IBG especially. And maybe that's a sign for IBG. Look at what Onyx doing and try to play within the same kind of realm. This is the second time in a row. They're relatively close by, and as it stands, it's just, of course, the usual standoff, yes, but IBG especially, this is the more passive play that we're expecting from them because the kill scores are really solid. And when they transit, when they're out in the open, that's when they get caught out by our teams.
Casuals do need to be a little bit careful about where they're going to be rotating. 20th guaranteed as well. I can see sort of a little bit further walking inside the training tunnels. It would be a huge try now both heading in.
Yang udah mati siapa guys? Yang udah mati.
Only other team I'm quite worried about at the moment is X and Y. So I was a little bit off with my prediction in terms of numbers. I said 18 or 19 teams through to the next ring, but at the moment we've got 17 teams up. Still plenty going on in Skyhook though.
505 mana 5? Oh ada.
And I think
Dewa.
slow game, to be honest.
Dewa mana? Udah mati.
Probably how things are going to play out for the next zone as well, because no one really has to move. Except for those teams that are just outside, but even then, they're kind of just outside of the ring. Shouldn't be too difficult for them to get in. You know, 20th guaranteed, they could make their way into the train station. You've got X and Y, fairly easy route in, very similar to what ADL did. Then obviously Angels looks a bit more difficult for them today, maybe a team to drop, but they're being given even some room by Golden State. You can see they're on the mini map, so it's all kind of just gentleman's agreement at the moment to not really take too many fights because no one needs to take any fights.
Dewa nggak ada ya? Udah mati Dewa.
I kind of compared what we've seen from the first time we went around here to Split 2, it was A versus B, and then the second time the back-to-back Group C. And you can see for Group C, that's where most of the aggressive teams are. When there's much more chaos, the average score is lower because of all those earlier contacts. And this really is just a sign of really how these two groups coincide with one another. Casuals does get caught out there, I believe, by the ADL Wolves. Teams like Moist, teams like Onyx, they're happy to play in this grouping especially because they can play the way they want to in such an optimized and effective manner. In terms of scrim buffs, these are the scrims that they expect, right? This is kind of the ideology that they expect from a lobby, but once you throw Brucey in the picture, and perhaps we'll see it later on, these lulls that we're getting right now, it's not going to be as often as you think.
No, probably not.
Oh, enak nih skopnya.
Well, it is guaranteed. It's good to
Thermal.
watch their perspective because, to be honest, they're really the only team that has to do anything at the moment. What have they got?
Agak patah-patah anjir.
What have they got for? I mean, they do. Sky with dive available. It's not really a position you want to use from those, so we're just going to have to pop the Atlas wall somewhere to try to get in, and then slide down the hill. Hope that everyone misses their shots. That's like literally the only game plan they can really have.
Game 3 reconnect dulu.
I do feel like if you pop the wall outside the tunnel, IBG and Onyx will immediately take notice. That's when EV, who have the angle rights, will take advantage of that. So it's kind of a pick your poison scenario. How do you even move towards the tram station? Because that seems like the only place that Wendy and Gary can really go right now. If they fly to the center, or Ram, as well as Herman are waiting, 2 different angles. It's not the best sign, it's not the best sign, that's for sure. But then again, I am looking forward to when the likes go on stage, as well as Fruit do the move. That will also open things up for Fate, who's finally rotating on in. On the inside, two towards the southwest side, it's Wendy and Gary. They decided to go for it, looking to slip and slide over to where Onyx and IBG are. They've chosen who their targets will be. MDIY also taking notice. Cover right now towards Rock, Wendy and guaranteed. It's guaranteed this will be a struggle to move in.
Onyx
They're
nih.
just going to have to fight
Lawan
early
Onyx.
on. They zone at their back, and there goes the wall. It's good that they've held on to it for as long as they have. Actually does get them to the fence line, but that's not really going to last long. That is not viable cover once the wall goes down. Once the catalyst wall drops, they cannot stay here. They're going to have to move. They're taken, of course, by the drones as well, so everyone knows exactly where they are. Gotta move quickly. If they get into the bottom floor, maybe Onyx doing, they can live in harmony. Depends what Onyx feels about that.
Find a one-bedroom kind of type of deal, and the barricade will be in the way. 20 is guaranteed. Desperate to just get on the inside of Onyx is watching. Speaking of watches though, on the opposite end of this one, Golden Stage actually trying to keep Fate too. 20 is guaranteed, and eventually moving on the inside. They still have a few levels to work with. They have that ground floor.
Mana tadi Onyx?
For now, and they have some relative safety because IBG actually
Wah,
decided to go on.
oh Onyx mati satu
Those
ini.
are gonna hold on instead. And Blue White still keeping an eye out as Onyx Esports.
Oh, di
only
push.
do have 2 members, so that's the reason why they're not as aggressive as you think. They're just waiting for places points by this point and looking to see who they can third party moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was really well done actually by 20th Guaranteed. They made most out of a bad situation. Unfortunately,
Fate.
the zone is pulled away from them, so everyone kind of called it wrong. Everyone was just set up on the eastern side with the zones shooting out towards the west. And right on top of the Skybook itself, then you're boys Fate, 0-5, looks like it's going well.
Mantap.
They got it in, that's the thing. Fate decided to just use the lift from the to make it for the building itself. But they're fragging out,
Pantat.
going for the down 2. A little bit low on the armor, but Fate able to quickly reset on the inside. And as it stands, still Golden Stage nearby, looking to find that contact to Mike Jones to get the detection with a little interruption. But the shield back half already to the top. Fate with the high ground, looking to just get the hell away from there now. They got a few frags, they're getting hit by Rexon and the rest of the crew.
Wah, mati nih.
This is just a perfect opportunity for Fate to still get in there. We saw the
2, 3
with the
tiks.
low flow rate.
Mati.
They
Anjir.
for them
GG.
in transit, but Fate survived, one get guaranteed too, but they have to move fast because that ring is closing in.
Certainly is. Bunch of teams have set themselves up in Skyhook itself, on top of it. You see all those Watson fences on the roof.
Oh 505 masih ada.
Kind of keeping their heads down in this lobby so far. Would like to see a decent performance from them today.
Onyx Esports.
They did A versus B last time. Onyx just having been eliminated. Fate as well goes down. You can see there in the kill feed.
GG guys. Ah.
Those teams have maybe finally
Let's go, let's go.
Never mind. The fight against Eternal Photon goes well. One member on the floor, Rez not going to be harassed all that much against the other minimap. There's not much going on that side of the
Let's
road.
go 505.
In the middle itself, you can see Moist part of it, got there too, and they do believe True Esports going for a few pot shots from afar, but in the smoke, True Esports, and waiting to see where IBG is stationed. They know player key is nearby. He's the only one left. Already IBG losing to
Prowler.
fight. with this, they want to secure the north side as much as possible, but lose keep them 505 after that big win. They're in prime position to just stay in the ring. Same thing for casuals right now, but it's honestly teams at the center that we have to watch out for as soon as that ring closes on down again.
IBG sisa 1 IBG.
This was a zone that has caught a lot of teams off guard because you talked about those teams that are inside the zone. Inside the zone a little bit earlier. Those were all teams that rotated much later in the sky. They didn't get their choice of location. They just had to take what they could get, and what they ended up getting was actually kind of odd spots. So it's a bit funny how that's played out. Lots of teams not reading this ring correctly, or just gambling in the wrong direction. Maybe took a 50-50, didn't go their way. But overall, it means now that the rest of the way this plays out is going to be very chaotic as we're starting to see.
Now, all those who expected it to be the same for now will have to unleash chaos. IBG eliminated the ADL Wolves, dealing with XY right now. They're trying to get themselves back up to top with the shield battery. With the wall in the way, it's going to be
Tanah becek.
hunting down whoever is left nearby. X and Y though still there, going for the resurrection too, so a bit of a reset between two teams. Golden State though eliminated, ADL moves over onto the court, still using it to cover as much as possible. The spike so anyway, XD gonna be pushing,
Gelap, guys,
but
gelap.
Jack will punch him. Here comes YC2, X and Y taking the fight to ADL, but the Wolves will have it.
Nggak kelihatan na lawan
And
ini.
then only Buram keeping an eye out. Buram coming here, ADL Wolves, will you survive?
Let's go 505.
Might just be no Apple looking like keep an eye out. ADL Wolves still surviving here though towards the corner. And then here we go now in the middle, Sanger and the rest of River God. Moist launching out, River God flying. Chaos now as this ring continues
Oh my
to
God.
fall. And then Flex
Oh
going
my
out
God,
getting
masih.
eliminated. Who's next on the list? Who will get caught in the transit through those? Watch over for Moist. It's River God gone. True Esports still there in position. When you get guaranteed too, man. And it just never ends
Aryo.
here. In the end, 5 squads are left.
Forgotten
Everyone's on the
kick.
center.
Itu
Survivors left. It's through one side. What you get guaranteed on the other.
Yeah, just look at that.
Moist Esport mati, Moist.
It was an absolute
Let's go 505, bisa
end of the
505.
day, we now started to come through a bunch of those
Bisa 505 yuk.
squads alive, some semblance of normalcy will find its way through. Ruth's going to get that time to reset. Casual's quite comfortable down on the bottom side of the map, and MTY White as well.
505 sebelah mana?
So 20th guaranteed somehow. I don't know how they managed to go from probably the worst position in ring 3.
Oh, udah wipe.
Still 3 players alive inside the final 4. They've run the call, and that's for sure. It was a pod race, and they made it past the Tuscan Raiders.
Well, if that is pod racing, this is 20th guaranteed. They guaranteed themselves the best scenario after the worst situation. And optimism right now for the squad. They still have to deal with these competitors. I am concerned though now for Voice Esports moving forward. This is another instance here at World Stage where they get caught in the chaos that when their expectations of the rest really get met.
Last John.
Especially is where they're most vulnerable, and I feel like some teams
Terus
take
ini mah.
advantage of that. Speaking of Bandit though, Saijin God finds Bandit takes the push, comes in from True Esports. It's so patient right now. But
Terus
all
for
that's happened is
champion.
everyone white, as well as casuals are both converging. It seems like this fight might be decisive here. True Esports though, he can cover on the smoke in the way.
MDY White. Champion picks.
Inside the smoke though, 20th guaranteed will fall as Casuals tries to at least dip inside of it. Truth though fights back. It's everyone white winning advantage out. The Dizzy Truck helping out this team in the pitch. Who cares about the smoke? They know what's coming. They know that they can win this. And MDY White look for the execute, and they will be our champion this time around.
Tak jelas MDY. MDY cowok. Kata aing ge apa?
Very well done from MDY White. Pretty straightforward stuff in the final. Little engagement, but obviously to make it through all the chaos before that, I think that's the real big talking point. Any of those 4 teams should really when you're fighting in Skyhawk, when you're fighting in an area of the map like that, as we saw, it can just be absolutely maybe you're one team that just gets focused by it, and then your game's over, but they all make it through. So I think even a top 4 there for any of those teams. If you were to ask them, you look at the 20th guaranteed and say, hey, this is when you're going to win your phase 3, would you take a top 4? They'd probably say yes.
Yeah, exactly. Just the fact that they were the ones who survived, right? The center of Skybook already was such a big sign of how their longer rotate actually helped them out in terms of timing because the teams like Esports, teams like ICG, they were waiting for the squad that they mentioned early on that they saw early on at the very second ring itself to come on out. And that was really the target for the teams that effectively gatekeeping. Some big rounds though and some big wins for MDYY and True Esports. We mentioned especially the first they needed to really step on up. They have a downward spread in the past few months. Maybe this is a sign. Second place is 8 kills for True Esports. 9 takedowns though from MDYY as well as that first place. And then it seems like we're getting here with the improvements that they learned from that first week. MDYY especially strong on getting kills, strong at killing and then executing those targets, knowing who to actually go on. But their placements have left so much more to be desired. This time around, they picked the right spot and they went for the win because of it.
Yeah, the question I was always going to be is it a little bit too late for the overall series? Maybe not so much in the case of MDYY. They were 12 coming into this week. They've had a couple of okay results so far, but with that win, now they're actually in a position to potentially
Menatap wajahmu
we've been talking about it all day long, but
menikahi hidupku.
consistency days, fair enough, that's good, but that might not be enough to get you overseas. What you do need is some of those results that are going to actually get you over the line. That's an opportunity now that MDYY is sitting on the cusp of it. They can continue to perform in this lobby. Obviously, we'll be talking about that a little bit more throughout the rest of the day, maybe even if they go overseas as well. MDYY do get that win, like I said, coming through second. Nice to see a little bit of a resurgence from True, but I think we do still need to definitely see a lot more from them on the consistency side of things as well. It's one thing to find one good game, 1 or 2 good games, but yeah, I mean that is something that we've seen before, and then it just sort of disappears. So I'll keep my eye on them next game. The good news for everyone is that Moist and ADL didn't have absolutely stellar games here, so the lobby isn't going to blow out all that much. Have a look at the scoreboard here and see exactly where that does end up.
Menatap wajahmu.
Look at MDYY dropping themselves into contention for that win today. ADL also they were fifth place with 3 kills. They do outclass Moist Esports in that response, and they build their lead just a little bit higher. But in all honesty, the team I'm looking for right now has to be Casuals. They were, I believe, 5th place last time around in the standings. They did a good job to begin with towards the south side of the map, the first map. But here in the second one, they had a good position on the west side that we were talking about. That real estate that really gave them a chance to go into this.
ADL nomor 1 Moist Dewa keberapa anjir 18. Menatap wajahmu.
Alright, well look, there's still plenty more to talk about. We've got one more game of World's Edge when it does come to this lobby at least, and of course we've got another lobby coming for you later on today as well. So make sure you don't go too far away. We're going to take a short break. We've got something for you to watch in the meanwhile though. If you need to go do anything, now's probably a good time because we're going to be jumping into game 3 on the other side of this.
Kita sholat dulu ya guys ya.
You know what I love is not being on camera, and so I love it when we go straight into game. This is awesome. What a great day so far. Twice we've gone out of the break, into the game. Admin's really just punching through it. It's awesome to see. But yeah, Dax, obviously a pretty interesting finish to that last game. Both Moist and Onic getting knocked down a peg. We saw sort of ADL Wolves also not really having a great finish. So the top end of the lobby, it hasn't blown out yet. Still anyone's game as we head into the final round of World's Edge for this lobby.
Absolutely, and I'm looking to see how this averages up at the very end. It's not like the first two sets we've had here in ALGS Apac South, wherein one team decides, okay, we'll win early and no one else can catch up to us. It's more so that last group that we saw beforehand. Lower averages means it's more competitive and anyone can eke it out. It was the case last time between Onic and Blackhand, where Onic had that 1 point advantage. This time around, who's on top? You got ADL Wolves, you got Moist there in second, and of course you have MDY in third. So here we have it. Our ring though towards the northwest side. I don't think this time perhaps it will go into Skyhook. I'm not Gino, I'm not the master predictor, but it does feel like that it's more towards Countdown and Lava Fisher's side, and it's something really interesting right now we can talk about here, Elfish, because we've seen IBG be a bit more reserved. What will they do now if they get the intel that the circle is theirs?
Well, I'll actually check that for you and see, do they have the info? That's the first question you're going to have to ask. And yes, they do. They know where that second ring is going to be headed. So if they want to, they can probably be the first rotator to whatever position they feel is going to be where the circle does end up finishing. But it's always a little bit difficult still to really make that 100% correct guess. I just don't know if you saw, there was a website. Someone linked it in our production Discord last week, and we were playing.
I know that. I played that. I played that because I saw it in the Discord. I was like, this is actually really hard. But
it is hard, eh?
The more you play it, the more I could understand too. Maybe one day I'll be as smart as Genome in Apex Legends.
Yeah,
maybe
he's probably doing that in his spare time. You know, like that's his fun.
No. But you have the record. I saw the stats. You have a 100% prediction rate.
That's
one
right.
out of one. Congratulations. That's you.
And you know what's funny is I did it twice. So I did it. I hit 100%. I was like, I'm happy with that. And then I was like, I bragged about it. I was like, I got the 100%. But I thought, I don't actually have the screenshot. So I'm going to have to go do it again. And then the second time I did it, I also got the first one right. And then for what it's worth, I did like another 10 each time. And I didn't get a single one beyond that. But no one needs to know about that. We got 100%. So
yeah, there you go, guys. So you only look at the first two tries because they were the first one try each time. So there you have it. If you need any advice of where the ring will go, Elfish Guy has your back.
Well, the question is, where is this ring going to go? Because I can kind of see that there is a lot of worlds where it can kind of still end up. And I think there's a lot of potential options for teams to play. Countdown, Lava Fisher. You know, even Onic have gone over to Menage a Trois. We've got Moist heading into what looks like close to Countdown. So I might hedge my bets there toward Countdown. But I think they're even almost hedging their bets in the center of the zone.
Yeah, me too. I'm still undecided. Will it go towards the Lava Fisher area? Will it go towards Countdown? I doubt that it'll go to Landslide unless Dewa United knows exactly what to really expect right now. But you can see Onyx also has a different kind of plan. With them being on Mirage Etoile on top of the Voyage itself, they're effectively keeping an eye out on where ADL can go northward. This really puts them in such a bad spot, honestly, for our lobby leaders right now, because Mexius and the rest of 505 are right behind them, and if they get sandwiched early on, we might not see the same kind of performance we've had so far from the Wolves. And speaking of, Charge Rifle right now, shooting the holograms, trying to, at the very least, figure out what's going on and where Onyx is stationed. Also chip damage with the Charge Rifle, always good to get that red shield later on.
Yeah, still a bit of a ways to go before that. Nice little bit of a chip damage there onto Forgotten.
I think that's something you can see in the weapon stats right now. I've recently discovered so much more resources in Apex Legends. I think you guys were talking about it last time too. The one where it has all the stats, right? And then if you have the weapon stats, R99 and the Nemesis are on top. But if you look at the damage dealt, the Charge Rifle is there within the realm of being at the very top in terms of the ratio. So it really goes to show in these kind of standoffs, especially if you have a sniper like a Charge Rifle, you can really build up a better armor, obviously, like a better Evo armor moving forward. It's pretty basic stuff in terms of Apex, but at the same time, every little advantage really makes a difference in such high-octane lobbies when it gets down to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just a little bit of a discrepancy in how those two weapons are used, and I mean, I've always been a big fan of the Charge Rifle. Maybe I'm just a bad person. I know everyone sort of hates Charge Rifle users, but I just really like that one. I think for me, my two most favorite guns in Apex Legends are the Charge Rifle and the bow check. I really like the bow as well. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, those are good. That second one's a pretty good gun, huh?
Yeah, well, I didn't like it, but then I realized when you put the 3x on it, it kind of feels pretty good. So.
Yep. And speaking of,
yeah,
I see a bow check. I see a bow check in this lobby right now, and I think 505 has it. Ask and you shall receive, my friend. Ask and you shall receive. In the meantime, though, overall across the map, I think it's Strut who actually sticks around the Skyhook area this time. We did see Ermagad instead actually go out over to the northwest instead, and I'm looking to notice where Eternal Photon's gonna end up on, because they're one of the longer rotators alongside X and Y as well as Fate. They will go for the later positions into the next ring, and this is really the problem. Staging has people, Mirage Etoile has people, Landslide is covered by Dewa right now, and of course there's quite a cluster on both Lava Fisher and Countdown. So in a ring like this, where can you even go by this point in terms of POIs?
Not really too many options, to be honest, but you're gonna have to play something, that's for sure. I mean, you do have a lot of time still yet to play, so I think for a lot of those teams that are still outside of the zone, I mean, X and Y in particular, they can probably just get a beacon scan and, you know, scan the ring console. I still call it the beacon. Let's just go with the correct terminology. Scan the ring console, find out the next location of the ring. Golden Sage does go down in the meanwhile. Okay. Bit of a stoush over Countdown. Teams trying to establish themselves.
Inside the ring, just inside of the POI here. They still have to deal with Let's Go, though, on the upset. Emilia actually playing the advance on the rate especially, and we've seen this pocket pick come up from time to time. A few of the buffs also helping out mid-transit. I do believe the portal is a lot longer right now, so you can actually move across the map pretty quickly if you need to. It's kind of more of a parity thing, I think, since Valkyrie has been nerfed a little bit, the Skyward Dive a little bit more dangerous. You have more options and avenues of movement, especially with the class system, and maybe that's what Inside the Ring wants to do. We have both right now, so extra bit of mobility, and especially in such an uncertain ring where Onyx instead have gotten a better read of things.
They're one of a very few teams actually that are still sitting out towards Menage a Trois. What's ADL Wolves up to? Thinking about it, man, look at that. Look at the absolute mess that is Lava Fisher right now. So many teams hanging around in there. Moist have actually decided to go straight into the center of it as well, so maybe just reading it, deciding that's where that's going to head up.
Dude, Buriram basically lands on your nades by that point, lands on throwables, and as soon as the door breaks, it was just Moist Esports ready to just pepper them with bullets. It's the finishing blows there, quickly done by Moist Esports, and we see this quite a while from them. If early on they are contested, they find such a center location and they hunker down so well, again and again, I think areas like Lava Fissure, and if you look at Climatizer, we've seen instances of them doing so before. Same case right now. IBG will respect that. Casuals will do the same thing.
Yeah, MDY White, winners of the previous game, have also headed toward Lava Fissure as well. That's some good damage.
Ooh.
Are they going to push off that?
Yeah, they
Looks
are.
like they are. That's bold.
They're underneath, that's for sure, and now they're looking to just chase after. Oh my god, they're trying to evacuate all the hard work Savior did. Well, at least it can now come up to stuff, as this house has the pylon, has the fortifications. I think it's just a bit of a check here from MDY White. They now know that where exactly the Watson setup is, and they can just wait accordingly when their opponents come out.
I mean, maybe they just wanted this position as well. I think you sort of look at it and say, if it does end up pulling north, this is not going to be a bad spot at all for MDY White. Does anyone have the info on where the next ring is going to go? I'll just have a quick look through the teams in-game.
Yeah, I'm browsing through it too. I think IBG has it because they were beside the ring beacon on their initial station. They feel like it's still Lava Fissure sided though, and there is a chance, of course, because there's so much terrain around Mirage Trois. It has to be in the center of the ring, basically, if it's going to be there. And ADL, and as well as 505, looking to contest for that high ground. It's a lot less dangerous to play Mirage Trois on a map like World's Edge compared to, I think, Storm Point. We saw how vulnerable it was towards fish farms in a few games last week. So at least there's some safety right now for Onyx and the rest of the teams there.
Well, now, we'll see what happens if things do start to shift. If we go back up north toward Lava Fissure, that's going to be a tough run for those teams down at Mirage Trois. But they're okay for now. Do still sort of have ADL kind of keeping an overwatch over it as well. So I don't expect there's going to be a whole lot happening in this area of the map.
Let's go Indo. Sorry, ke-mute mic-nya. Mic-nya ke-mute. Anjir, udah ring kecil lagi cuy. Oh, 505 di bawah. Bawah Onyx. Dewa masih 505 mana di peta aja. Oh, itu tuh. Dewa deket, zonanya deket Dewa. Tapi ke sandwich ITR sama ini 20 garansi. Dijamin ke 20. 28 guaranteed. Oh, ini di atasnya 505 nih ADL. Sapior. Armornya masih putih.
Yeah, I mean, that's just sometimes how it is, isn't it? Like, you make a blind push or a blind star would dive into a position and just
505 kill 1.
because there's going to be no shortage of teams that can punish you if you're out of position. You know, what was unfortunate for them.
Jangan TP, jangan TP. Internal Photon.
Of had they been able to survive there underneath Mirage Trois. So, wrong call all around. Maybe Wolves, I suspect as well, are going to have a bit of a
Ada Wolves,
very least. They've got the Skyward Dive available.
Ada Wolves.
But I just think Skyward diving into Lava Fissure does not give you that many options, right? You have to try to land on the platforms. There's not very many buildings. There's not a lot of actual hard cover. You certainly can't land underneath because it's full of lava. So
Judulnya salah, so Apac.
My biggest question right now for ADL is how they're going to get out of this. There is still
Oh, perang.
they can actually survey beacons tell where exactly Onyx as well as all the other squads nearby are.
Susah ini. Di belakang masih ada itu.
See what they get guaranteed on the opposite end.
Di atas.
Side of the map, the winners of Countdown, that was inside the ring to beat sort of a photon at their own game. They get in there, and they still have
Kena granat.
flying high now for Apac too. There's just all the transits right now. Once they realize they need to go towards some of these buildings, towards the train tracks especially, it's time to go up more than the drama. Why the Black Hole's gonna be into play, and then they're going after the light on Bay. They realize this situation, they take it down, taking it down. Herbert God is gone too, and then here comes the beginning of these collapses. True Esports eliminated at the same time as X and Y still have to recover because Stan was watching them.
You're going to have to keep that pace up, I think, for the next couple of minutes or so, because it's going to get busy. Lots of teams having to now move out of Lava Fisher. Certainly, we talked about those teams moving up as well from Menage a Trois. It is going to be a chaotic ring pool here. A lot of teams are going to go down. And it's just a matter of time before they're forced to move. We've got about a minute left before the ring starts to pull its way in. And when it does, that is where we are going to see a few teams falling.
This is a trap when it landed where Popcorn was stationed. As soon as they drop down to the lava, Moist as well as Casuals are waiting and watching for them. Speaking of Casuals now, they have that high ground. Detection yet again in the focus of attention. And speaking of, you have swinging on that Vanguard, so perhaps even that Rolling Thunder can be lost earlier on. Charge right and getting into the Casuals. For a few quad shots, still keeping that pressure on. While this happens though, Akuma actually deciding to run the same way. They're just underneath the Casuals right now. They're looking for cover, and maybe later on they'll look to take that position.
Calm and collected for the moment. But I think that's only really going to last for another 20 seconds or so. Those teams up toward Lava Fisher seem to have carved out a decent rotation path for themselves. And I'm not interested to see where Moist is going to end up, because, yeah, I mean, you can say, oh, they can just run in along the platform, but is that next circular part of the platform really a very good spot to hold? Absolutely not.
Sorry guys, sambil jualan guys.
You see they get punished because of it. Time and time again on this map.
Indo
And
masih
this
nggak Indo?
is honestly the weaker map here for
Itu ada yang
Esports
terbang.
because of how they transit in these mid-circle engagements. And IBG now over onto the high ground, still keeping up the pressure. They
Oh,
have taken
Dewa mati.
a spot here.
505.
ADL landed behind us.
And there you have it.
ADL is on. That's
Oh,
the
Dewa,
situation
guys.
right now
Nice
with
try,
ADL.
Dewa.
So you can just think about how difficult their decisions to make were. They had to end up landing where IBG started.
Tinggal Lahim Dewa.
The worst timing even. IBG in position
Ah,
X and Y.
Dewa
This
mati.
time having to deal with their own kind of concept. They're already getting rid of the United. IBG though still looking down. They know they have better position. Onyx nearby too. And this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Manfan to actually go for those kills. Keeping up with the rifle X and Y is going to be gone. Still the pressure
IBG,
on
IBG.
ADL Wolves. They've been hunted down. They've been taken down. IBG throwing blood. Onyx still low, keeping an eye out.
Yeah, IBG, they're doing well for themselves. A little bit of a tumble in the previous game, but game one was pretty good for them. Underneath.
Indo
Not
nice
sure how
try
easy it would
terus
be
Indo.
for Onyx to actually challenge them. I don't think they're really in a position to do so. Just having a look at Onyx's position on my monitor, it doesn't really seem like they have the opportunity to do so. They're more than interested to just play actually below that bridge. I think IBG's probably okay for now. And in fact, IBG might even be in a game-winning position if they can continue to hold on to that caravan on the train tracks. Not fast, obviously, because a lot of teams are going to be looking at them, but
Went upstairs. I agree. Onyx, they were looking to see if they could actually third party towards Wolves, not IBG. That's why they're sticking out
IBG.
there on the southwest side, staying in cover. And many people will be called to attention towards Popcorn instead, since they're the ones with the building. Anyway, Moisto gatekeeping right now. We talked about how to transfer through the platforms, and they're just keeping an eye out to where Casuals are stationed. This is Moisto. You know how deadly they can be. Waltzy and Pricey.
Waltzy.
I think they have their ultimates at the ready, especially that Walt Pricey knows how to just go for the blockade. They already see a bit of flight, a bit of distance. Casuals getting the hell out of there. It's movement time towards the ring, and what do you get guaranteed as a team watching after that one? Moist Esports though still under here by the platform.
yeah, having to play that low ground. But IBG at the moment, they are in a potentially pretty good spot. A bit of an embattled team. Maybe they can find a way to win this game and really kickstart their season. Let's have a listen with them as they do try to close it out.
Bisa tahu gitu anjir di situ.
Nice. They're not going to
Wait.
I'm donating that. I'm dropping swaps. There's a swap here, swap here. Try to hit us left. I'm playing on me. I'm safe as well.
Riweuh.
Come on, let's go. Yeah. I know some.
Should we take control of roof? I think somebody two on the left.
Yeah.
Get on time.
Maybe.
I'm going.
Straight under us.
Onyx masih Onyx ini mah fix.
For round.
Onyx
I think
champion.
I'm outside.
We're staying on me. Calling on you.
Nice.
Pressing in. I'm playing one now.
Jaro GG Jaro. Kill leader.
Where are we in? We can swing left to ramp, maybe.
No, just play the roof for now. Shoot in front. Go. I'm on this side. Just shoot in front of me.
Yeah.
Stay slow. Look down. You play on me.
Okay. Yeah. Flash.
Jadi harus teriak-teriak gitu ya.
Yep. Good look behind, madam. I'm saying that behind you. Yeah. I'm on right. Yeah.
Di BG.
What a finish from IBG! Oh my god, they were absolutely screaming that whole time. You could hear the passion in their voice, and God, I love listening to the comm stacks. That was something else.
We were so hyped about hearing it while it was happening. They were shouting, they were screaming, they were so filled with energy. And all I have to say is, if that's the confidence and that's the comms from IBG right now, they might be back here, Elfish, because this is the hype that they need, the confidence that they need in calling these kind of fights. And truth be told, this is such the form that we expected from players like Larry and Patty especially. It was such a big game here from IBG. They took such a good location on the train tracks, and 15 kills in the first place. They are going to be taking names and taking command of this lobby now.
Yeah, look, I mean, I just really appreciated the way that they played out that final 3-team scenario. You could hear the comms saying the wall's going to go down at this time, play off me, play off the shield, and obviously, you know, even the down and dead players are kind of helping out and trying to say, all right, well, this is 1v1v1, so you know the situation that you're in. Now you're in a 1v1, there's an armor swap potentially available if you need it, but I think it was play okay right there in the end that, or Panna maybe that was the one to sort of finish it off in the end. Kind of knew the scenario, made the decisions with the information that was given, and then obviously able to close it out. Really nice out there. But I gotta say, that's actually probably one of my favourite listeners, because we kind of got to go through that range of emotions where they weren't too sure what they were going to be able to do. They had to try and figure out, can we play the roof? Do we play below? Do we drop down? How do we play around this wall? Really good stuff though from IBG. But what I do want to say, I think my favourite part of that listening was Player K saying, I'm playing on me. And it's like, I understand what he's trying to say, you know what I mean? But just the the comedy of that scenario. It's like, yeah, okay, well, what else are you going to be playing? Like, you literally are always playing on you. It doesn't matter where you are, you're playing on you. That's, but yeah, I thought that was amusing. So yeah, good shout from IBG.
It's your input that's connected, man. You kind of have to do it yourself if ever you're in this game. But yeah, truth be told, IBG, they were just effective all throughout. The fact that they realized that they could see that high ground away from the building caused them to have a big cushion moving forward. They went for the wraparound, knowing the fact that everyone was looking towards Popcorn instead, who took that building so very early on, hunted down members of Esports as well as the team. They let on the Esports do their own thing as well, and they didn't force the fight because they knew Onyx was nearby for so long. This is what we were talking about for IBG. The skill is there, the talent is there. They topped pretty much the standings last split for good reason, the chicken sandwich, but it just wasn't coming up to the
guys, I guess.
situations themselves. Now they're getting to those situations. Now they're getting the right calls, and this is a better sign for them because they needed to do this right here and right now.
Yeah. Definitely a good little shout there from IBG. Let's have a look at the scoreboard though and see how much that bumps them up. Are they in first? Yes.
Boom.
Just, not by a massive margin. And the two teams, the Sharks circling in the water below them, Moist and Onyx, pretty scary prospects. I mean, 8.
I guess.
The Algs there as well, not too far away. So, yeah, IBG, they're going to have a good run on scoreboard as well to close this one out. But I don't know. I mean, to me, I feel like if I was in their position, I would be feeling the pressure a little bit. You've basically gone from being the best team in Apac South. You know, I mean, obviously there's debates about that, but just in terms of the result that they put on the board last split, they were the #1 team. They finished in first place. So coming in this.
Leg.
And I would definitely say underperforming, but obviously, as you've mentioned, you can see the skill is still there, the ability is there. They just need to kind of get things going, and obviously they've done that so far today. You can see the passion is